I licked 6 goddesses in real life. I raised 6 fish on the internet. Later, they found out the truth and went crazy with anger. They all gathered at my door, demanding to be with me. To gather medical expenses for my mother, I was flattering 6 goddesses at the same time. They didn't see me as a human. Their favorite thing was to insult me with money. Goddess No. 1, Zhang Shine, a straighter university student. Her family owned dozens of luxury hotels. To please her, I taught myself 8 foreign languages. I mastered 15 musical instruments. I earned 49 certificates. I even learned how to operate an excavator. On her birthday, I sat at the piano, tears in my eyes. I played a piece for her called Suspension Drowning *. She listened, her face wet with tears. But in the next second, she grabbed a book and threw it at me. What's with that disgusting look on your face? Do you think I was crying for you? I was just thinking of my male idol. Do you even deserve to play this song? I held back the urge to slap her. With sorrow in my voice, I said, "It's okay. Even if I'm just a stand-in for him, I'm happy." But she flicked her ponytail, walking away with disgust on her face. "This piano has been tainted by your filthy hands. Throw it out." Heartbroken, I called a moving service and sold it to a second-hand piano store. I made a profit of 48,000 yuan. Goddess No. 2, Liu Ryan, a playgirl with a mature charm. She changed boyfriends 8 times in 7 days. But I didn't care. When she went shopping, I carried her bags. When she skipped class, I acted as her lookout. Even when her boyfriends were hungry, thirsty, or sick, I was the first to serve them promptly. This is what they call flattering the house and even the crows on it. So no matter how many boyfriends she changed, I got along very well with them. They all said, "Brother, you're really a good guy. When I break up with her, I'll recommend you as the next one." What do you call that? That's called a good reputation. But Liu Ryan still barely paid attention to me. She said she was all about pure love, and that she was saving her first kiss for her male idol. She advised me to give up early. I refused. Instead, I flattered her even more fiercely. Liu Ryan got angry. "Have you ever thought that I'm just playing with you?" My face flushed with embarrassment. I did think about that while lying in bed at night. She got even angrier. "I meant I'm leading you on." My face turned even redder. I quickly waved my hand. "Not that kind of thinking. You're such a pervert. But if you want to try, I'm willing." She was silent for a long time. "Yi Xiaofan, you're a good person. Thank you for recognizing my character. F********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* Do you have to send me so many messages every day? Isn't it annoying? Oh, are you worried that I'm typing too much and might get irritated? No, no! As long as it's for you, I'm willing to do anything. We're not compatible. Don't feel inferior because of how excellent I am. I already have someone I like. Are you talking about me? Don't contact me anymore. No means yes. If you keep this up, I'll go die. Oh my god. You're willing to die for me? Liu Ryan. I'll give you 200,000 yuan. Disappear from my site immediately. Alright. I turned around and left. Glancing at my schedule, I quickly rushed to my next appointment. Goddess No 3 Tia Union, a CEO of a company. She was dressed in an office lady suit, black stockings and high heels, crossing her legs as she waited for me in the office. She pointed to a set of school uniforms on the desk and ordered me to put them on. They were exactly like my high school uniform. Turns out she was into this kind of thing. After I changed, she looked me up and down again. Still not satisfied, she called someone to bring a bucket of water and poured it over me. Tears welled up in my eyes. I'm just someone who loves you. Why do you have to humiliate me like this? She frowned, pulled 10 stacks of cash out of the safe, and threw them at me. So what if I'm humiliating you? I was trembling with excitement, yet still said, Union, I don't want your filthy money. She picked up the water bucket and splashed it on me. I held the money tightly to my chest. Luckily, it wasn't wet. She stared at me, soaking wet, a fleeting look of distraction crossing her face. But in the next second, she took another stack of money and slapped me with it. Even if you look like him, you're still not worth a single hair of his. I warn you, don't get any improper ideas. Remember, we're just in a simple money for service relationship. I like you just the way you are. Leaving Tia Union's office, I was about to rush to my next appointment when my phone rang again. I glanced at WeChat. 99 plus messages. Annoying. It was those simps again. The ones marked as broke number 3, bombarding me with messages. Brother Z Boo, what are you doing? I really miss you. Please, just reply to me, okay? Asterisk sobs asterisk. I've been dreaming these past few days. Dreaming of the time you saved me from the water. I casually replied, waiting for money. Seeing that, I responded. She went into a frenzy, texting me like she was on steroids. Wow, Brother Z Boo is amazing. I admire people like you who work so hard and are so ambitious. You always rely on yourself, fighting tirelessly. You're self-reliant, building your career from the ground up. I've always looked up to you, Brother Z Boo. And that's why I've achieved even a tiny bit of success. Not like that simp I met, who only talks about love and feelings. It's disgusting. I'm sure you, Brother Z Boo, are just like me. Someone who doesn't care about money at all. You only enjoy the thrill of entrepreneurship. Why aren't you responding, Brother Z Boo? Screw this. Why wouldn't I care about money? My mom is still in the hospital waiting for life-saving money. Bragging is your only talent. Talking about not caring about money. Isn't it just because you're too broke to send me a red envelope? The other 5 broke simps are all the same. I couldn't be bothered to read anymore. I hopped on a shared bike and headed to my next appointment. Goddesses no 4, no 5, and no 6. I flattered them all until midnight. More exhausting than a 996 work schedule. But after tallying up all the money they humiliated me with during this time, ... was almost enough to pay for my mom's surgery. It seemed that my flattery had finally paid off, so I decided to resign from my role. No more flattering. I'd go back to my hometown to see my mom. That night, I posted something on my social media, only visible to the 6 of them. A cold fish. A difficult guardian. What are you looking at? Yeah, I'm talking to you. You think you're a princess just because I called you one? I'll knock you down in one punch, turn you into a mule from MI Mountain. You don't even reply to a goodnight text? That's okay, mom's good. I don't blame you. I blame myself for having too few friends. I'm done serving you. Goodbye. Flattery dog rules. When I flatter, I'm deeply in love. When I stop, I'm cold and heartless. I have principles. The next morning, my phone was blowing up. All 6 goddesses bombarded me with calls and messages, asking where I had gone and what those words meant. Just thinking about how mad they must have been, grinding their teeth, brought me so much satisfaction. I didn't bother replying to their messages. Feeling quite pleased with myself, I scrolled through my social media feed. Goddess no 1, damn it, ran into a jerk. If I ever catch him, I'll skin him alive. I hadn't laughed for long when I noticed the next comment. Tia, I got disgusted by some idiot today too. Username, Goddess no 2. They knew each other. Soon after, another comment appeared. I'm so mad. Are we all cursed with bad luck or what? I ran into a terrible guy as well. Goddess no 5. Sisters, me too. But I've already hired 18 private investigators. They're investigating the man's location. It seems like they'll have the results this afternoon. Goddess no 1. Really? Shying, quickly give me the contact details of those detectives. Today, I'll personally skin him alive and sell him to Thailand to become a ladyboy. A chill spread from my groin, crawling up my spine. I regretted everything. Women really do hold grudges. Why on earth did I provoke them? Getting carried away with myself could cost me my life. I hurriedly deleted that social media post. Zhangshang's call came in like the Grim Reaper. Hello? Hi? My voice trembled. Hey ha! Weren't you quite happy insulting me? Why'd you delete it? Her voice was bone-chilling. Oh, what post? I didn't post anything. Did I mention a post? Why are you confessing without being accused? No! Your Excellency, calm down. Let me explain. Sixian and Luan, right? She sneered. I was so scared I almost peed my pants. How did she find me so fast? Even worse, we're from the same place as my male idol. Disgusting. She gave her final warning. Just wait. This afternoon, I'm coming for you. Let's see if you can still escape. She hung up after that. I touched my pants. A little damp. In a panic, I rushed home, only to find the door locked. The neighbor said my mom had gone to the city for my aunt's wedding feast. At the wedding venue, I saw my mom. The first thing I asked her was, Mom, has anyone strange come to our house looking for me today? When did you get back, son? Why didn't you tell me beforehand? My mom beamed with joy. What do you mean by strange people? Like, were there a few women who were, well, quite pretty, asking about me? Before I could finish, my aunt snickered from the side. Well, look, girls coming to look for you? And not just one, but a few? My uncle chimed in too. I heard from my son that you were fired from your job, weren't you? You're almost 30. Number house, no car, no wife. What do you young folks call that these days? Broke, right? And you expect girls to be interested in you? Enough. We know exactly what kind of person you are. Just eat your meal. And stop pretending. This Zhang family hotel. Do you even know how many strings my son had to pull to get this booking? A place like this. If it weren't for our family's wedding, you'd never set foot in a place this fancy your whole life. These two old folks had always looked down on my single-parent family. I was used to it. Oh, yeah. Hopefully, someone in your family dies so you can invite me here again for another meal. I snapped. Watch your mouth. My uncle shot me a glare. My daughter-in-law's family has a big business deal coming up. Do you even know who the partner is? The #1 tech corporation in the country. Their top executives will be here at the wedding. If you say something stupid and offend them, your life will be over. I couldn't be bothered to engage with him. I pulled out my phone, opened my social media feed. I wanted to check on how those women were doing. Sisters, I found the house of that dog man. I'm driving over right now. What a coincidence. I found it too. The door is locked. No one's home. Don't know where he's hiding. Me too. My dad knows some people. I had him pull the nearby surveillance footage. Today, for sure, we'll find that dog. Watch how I tear him apart. Tears instantly welled up in my eyes. At the same time, my phone rang. Goddess No.4. With trembling hands, I picked it up. Sis, I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. Could you please show some mercy? But she wasn't listening at all. He answered, Did you get the location? 2 kilometers away at the Jiangmen Hotel. Good. Drive there immediately. Speed if you have to. I hung up the phone in a panic. I remembered her father had some serious power. There was a guy who once broke her heart. The next day, he vanished. The last anyone heard, he showed up in northern Myanmar. I turned to look at my mom. Tears streaming down my face. Mom, your son has failed you. Today might be the last time we see each other. My mom frantically asked what was going on. I took out a bag. All the money for your surgery is in here. I might have to disappear for a while. My uncle grumbled. Look at him showing off again. Made a little bit of money and now he's flaunting it in front of us. Probably stole it from somewhere. I didn't bother responding. I lifted my foot, ready to make a run for it. but a group of people surrounded me. Well, well, isn't this ye the top student? Long time no see. Where have you been making money lately? A group of high school classmates sneered, blocking my way. Ye the top student, so generous, huh? Came back and threw around tens of thousands of yuan. So why the sad face now? Ha ha ha! Could it be true what they say? You stole someone's money, pretended to be rich, and now they've come after you? I really wasn't in the mood to argue with them. I just wanted to escape. But they held onto me tightly. Why are you in such a rush to leave? So many old classmates here. Don't you want to catch up? Weren't you the teacher's favorite back in the day? Winning awards left and right? Why does it seem like you're not doing so well now? Exactly. A university student, huh? I heard you got fired from your company. Probably because your hands weren't clean and you stole money. Seeing me stay silent. My aunt's relatives also joined in the fun. This is hilarious. We wouldn't dare to mock a big boss like him. Not only does he have money, but he's also a ladies' man. There are pretty girls chasing after him right to his doorstep. And not just one. They burst into laughter. My mom didn't quite understand, so she tugged at my sleeve and asked, "What's this about girls chasing after you? What's really going on?" I didn't know how to respond. She sighed. "Well, I'm not trying to rush you, but you're almost 30. It's time to find someone. I'm not asking you to. Find someone super pretty. As long as you can settle down and have a peaceful life, Mom will be at ease." My aunt's son, Joe Wei, interrupted my mom. "Well, why is he the top student still single? I heard from my mom you've dated several girlfriends. So why didn't they come?" He had his arm wrapped around a woman, Lin Yutong. The moment I saw her, I froze for a second. She was the class beauty from high school, the girl I had a crush on for 3 years during my youth, but only for a moment. Now, I had no feelings left for her. It was like stumbling upon an old childhood toy while cleaning the house, something long forgotten. Why don't you call those girls over? Even though this place is probably out of their league for life, I don't mind an extra pair of chopsticks. Joe Wei intentionally pulled Lin Yutong closer by the waist. What's the matter? Are they too ugly, or do they just not exist? What are you afraid of? I glanced around instinctively. I'm afraid there won't be enough seats. The room fell silent for a brief moment, then erupted into even louder laughter. You've been lying so much. You're starting to believe your own nonsense, huh? You're just a broke fool living in a dream. Yutong, remember what happened after the high school graduation? Joe Wei asked. Lin Yutong glanced at me, her eyes full of disgust. Wasn't that your doing? Back in high school, Joe Wei was always outshined by me. Now that he saw me down and out, he wouldn't miss a chance for revenge. Laughing, he continued. After the college entrance exams, I faked a love letter, pretending it was from Yutong, and stuffed it into his desk. And this fool actually believed it. He ran after her, blocking her way, saying something like, "I've liked you for 3 years too. Ha ha ha, it's killing me." He even recited a poem. What was it again? A classmate beside him chimed in, imitating my younger self. "If only your heart is like mine. Our love would never be in vain, Yutong. I love you." The youthful affection I had once poured out was now being trampled under their feet. Cruelly mocked. Lin Yutong pushed him, her eyes full of disdain as she looked at me. Enough! Stop bringing it up. The whole school saw it back then. Getting confessed to by a broke loser like him. It was disgusting, but Joe Wei wasn't done. He reached for my phone. Hurry up, call your girlfriend over. Let's all have a good look. Asterisk bang asterisk. A familiar voice suddenly echoed from the doorway. All the anger and humiliation I had just felt instantly vanished, replaced by sheer panic. I stiffly turned my head, looking towards the entrance. Goddess No 4. Suzwaru. Behind her stood a row of men in black suits and sunglasses. looking like they just stepped out of a WWE wrestling match. Yi Xiaofan, you mother! Suzuru scanned the room, her twin ponytails trembling with rage. How dare you get married behind my back? To be honest, in that moment, I was completely dumbfounded. Me? Getting married? Where did that come from? But before I could process it, Suzuru stomped her little legs in fury, her eyes red with anger. With a swift wave of her tiny arm, she commanded, "Trash this cheating bastard's party." The hulking men behind her said nothing, but with cold expressions, they began to move inside. Zhou Wei rushed forward to stop them. Wait, but this is my wedding. Zhou Wei was slapped to the ground by one of the hulking men. Tables flipped, chairs smashed, bowls shattered. They hit anyone in sight. The wedding venue instantly descended into chaos, with people screaming like ghosts and wailing like wolves. I stood there watching for a moment, finally snapping out of it. She thought I had stopped flattering her because I had turned around and married someone else. No, sister, you never liked me anyway. Even if I did get married, you shouldn't be this angry, right? I quickly ran over, trying to explain, but Suzuru was already crying like a weeping flower, her small fists pounding against my chest. You big pig head! You clearly said you only liked me, that you would only be good to me. Asterisk sobs asterisk. And yet you went and secretly got married, even posting on social media to insult me. I was beyond baffled. When I was flattering her, she barely cared. But now that I stopped, she's acting like I'm the bad guy. No, it's not what you think. This isn't my wedding. It's my cousin's wedding. You're still lying to me, asterisk sob asterisk. Clearly dot. She lifted her head, following the direction I was pointing. Right in the center of the hall, there was a big wedding photo of Zhou Wei and Lin Yutong. Suzuru blinked. Oh, did I make a mistake? She lightly tapped her fist against her head, stuck out her tongue. You age well. Sorry about that. Hey ha! Zhou Wei, still struggling to get up after being beaten, wasn't about to let it go so easily. He yelled, "Go tell the hotel owner. Tell the Zhang family. Someone's crashing the wedding and smashing everything." Suzuru frowned. I already apologized. What more do you want? She was the treasured pearl of the Su family, spoiled all her life. So how could she back down so easily? Are you done yet? I couldn't help but mutter quietly, mostly because I was afraid that if things escalated further, the other 5 crazy women might show up. You're the one causing trouble. Suzuru tilted her small face up, staring at me in disbelief. You never used to speak harshly to me. Asterisk sobs asterisk, you've changed your heart, haven't you? Tears streamed down her face like broken pearls, so pitiful it made my heart ache. Alright, I won't scold you anymore. But it's someone else's wedding. You causing this scene is wrong, isn't it? I could only gently try to persuade her. Okay, I know I was wrong. She took small steps toward Zhou Wei. Please forgive me. I'll cover all the losses from today. Zhou Wei shouted. Bolsh, I'll even compensate you an extra $1,000,000 yuan. The rest of Zhou Wei's curse got stuck in his throat. He wanted to keep raging, but couldn't bear to let go of that $1,000,000 yuan. Son, who is this girl? My mom tugged at my sleeve, her face full of worrying as she asked. Lin Yutong, standing nearby, hadn't heard my conversation with Suzuru, her face alternating between green and white with anger. She shouted loudly, "Isn't it obvious? Your son must have stolen from her, and now she's come to get it back." The other classmates chimed in too. Exactly. Didn't you see how nervous your son looked? He must have been involved in some shady dealings outside. And now he's ruining Zhou Wei's wedding. How could you have raised such a worthless son? Suzuru glanced at me, not sure what was going through her mind. She walked over to my mom. I was worried she might start another crazy episode, so I reached out to pull her back. But instead, she grabbed my hand, tilted her small face up, and gave my mom a sweet smile. Hello, Auntie. I'm Suzuru, Yi Xiaofan's girlfriend. Everyone in the room looked up in shock. My mom was stunned, and I was absolutely shocked too. Suzuwaru blushed, then whispered to me, "This is just to make up for things. Don't get any wild ideas." Oh my! Xiaofan, you child. Why didn't you tell me you have a girlfriend? Honestly, my mom was suddenly overjoyed, scrambling to make her comfortable. Quick, sit down, sit down. Such a pretty girl. I don't know what great deeds Xiaofan must have done in his past life. Two in your heart. He didn't even mention it. Look at me dressed so sloppily today. How embarrassing. Don't be upset, dear. Suzuwaru's face turned as red as a little apple, completely different from her usual attitude. She shyly said, "Auntie, you look wonderful." My mom was all smiles and excitement, while on the other side, my aunt's family looked like they had swallowed something foul. Who knows where she found this woman? My aunt muttered. She shows up and starts causing trouble. Doesn't seem like she's from a proper family. Lin Yutong sneered, muttering under her breath. For some reason, when my mom called her dear, Suzuwaru's whole demeanor changed. She didn't get angry, but instead, with wide eyes, asked me, "Is this lady also one of your elders?" Lin Yutong's face instantly turned a deep shade of pig liver red from anger. Who the hell are you calling auntie? Who are you pretending to be? Your man used to be nothing but one of my pathetic flattery dogs. Suzuwaru blinked. Xiaofan, your taste was really bad back then. Lin Yutong's mouth opened and closed. But for a long time, no words came out. After all, she was just average looking and nearing 30. Only makeup could help her cling to a hint of her youth. But Suzuwaru was still young, completely bare-faced, her slightly baby-fat cheeks as soft as porcelain. She looked like a delicate doll from the moment she entered. All the men in the room hadn't been able to take their eyes off her. The two were simply incomparable. "Dear, how old are you?" My mom asked somewhat timidly. "I'm 18 this year." For some reason, Suzuwaru seemed to feel a bond with my mom. "Auntie, I really like it when you call me dear." When my mom was still around, she used to call me that too. Hearing that, my mom's eyes immediately welled up with tears. She couldn't help but pull Suzuwaru into her arms. "Poor child, if you're willing, you can think of me as your mother from now on." Things were starting to take a strange turn, and I stood there completely dumbfounded. Even my classmates, who had been mocking me just moments ago for being a broke loser, were now looking at me with envy. Damn ... That broke loser actually got himself such a beautiful girlfriend. Man, if I could have a girlfriend like that ... I'd be willing to live 10 years less if I could have a girlfriend like that. I don't quite believe it though. If it were real, why didn't he dare say anything earlier? While everyone was still in a state of confusion, another familiar voice echoed from outside the door. "Who's causing trouble on my Zhang family's turf?" Zhou Wei, still on the ground, scrambled to his feet. With a fawning smile, he rushed over and pointed at me. "Miss Zhang, it's that guy." The moment our eyes met, I wished I could dig a hole and disappear. "Goddess, no one! Zhang Shine. It's him who trashed your place." Zhou Wei pointed at me, exaggerating the situation. I tried to stop him. I told him this was a Zhang family hotel, but he wouldn't listen, and he said, "The Zhang family is nothing. They're just a bunch of nobodies to me." Really? So you don't think much of my Zhang family, huh? Zhang Shine gritted her teeth. It does seem like something he'd do. My legs gave way, and with the asterisk, I knelt on the ground. Zhou Wei's eyes gleamed with satisfaction, waiting to watch me get crushed completely. Zhang Shine strode over with her long legs, taking slow steps until she was standing right in front of me. She bent down, her face full of charm, but I had no time to appreciate it. I just wanted to knock my head on the floor in regret. "I just found out," she whispered, "that you went to the same high school as my idol." I froze for a moment, sensing a faint glimmer of hope. "Your idol? Who might that be?" "Zebu! Me!" Memories I thought long buried suddenly came flooding back. In high school, I was too focused on my studies and couldn't really fit in with my classmates. I was ostracized and excluded. At that time, my family was poor. On weekends, I worked part-time jobs to help out at home. But whenever they found out, they would come to the shop just to mock me and cause trouble. I got tired of it. Eventually, I started using a fake name at work. But why would Zhang Shang say that I was her idol? I couldn't understand it. Yet, there was no time to think about it now. I know! I could even take you to find him later. I gritted my teeth. But you need to help me first. A flicker of excitement flashed in Zhang Shang's eyes. Without hesitation, she nodded. Miss Zhang. Zhou Wei gritted his teeth. You don't need to waste words on this scoundrel. Just have security throw him out. Is that so? Zhang Shang's slender fingers lightly touched my chin. Honey, why aren't you saying anything? Zhou Wei. My mom, everyone was stunned. What I meant by asking for your help was just to let me off the hook, not for you to help like this. With another asterisk thud asterisk, I knelt down again. Please. Zhou Wei's mouth hung open wide enough to fit an egg. You're calling him husband? Yes, I've been with Xiaofan for a long time now. We're madly in love. Is there a problem with that? At that moment, everyone in the room slowly turned their gaze toward me. I silently prayed. But it didn't help. You call him husband. Then what am I? Suzweru stormed over, full of fury. Zhang Shang glanced down at her. Where did this little peanut come from? She was 170 centimeters tall, while Suzweru was only 150 centimeters. The atmosphere shifted and Suzweru's confidence faltered. Zhou Wei stood off to the side, ignored for a long time. Watching the two of them bickering over me, Zhou Wei's face looked as if he had just eaten something foul. Miss Zhang, are you really taking his side? Of course. Zhang Shang hugged my arm tightly. He's my man. Who else would I side with? Miss Zhang. Zhou Wei gritted his teeth, but didn't dare lash out. My wife's family just sealed a deal with the Tia Corporation. Their people will be here soon to attend the banquet. If things get too ugly, it won't reflect well on them either. Oh, that's terrifying. Zhang Shang patted her chest, pretending to be frightened. I'd love to see which random dog or cat they're sending over. Just as she finished speaking, a voice came from the entrance. Oh, and what kind of dog or cat would I be, then? I shuddered. Goddess no, 3. Tia Union. Zhou Wei stood there dumbfounded for a moment, rubbing his eyes in disbelief. His face lit up with joy as he pulled Lin Yutong along to greet her. Chairwoman Tia, we were told Manager Wang would be coming, but to have you here personally. Chairwoman Tia, I've seen you before when I attended a gala with my father. I wonder if you remember me? Lin Yutong suddenly dropped her condescending attitude, acting like a fawning puppy. Since then, I've admired your elegance. I've always aspired to be like you. And who's your father? Tia Union cut off. Her flattery. Lin Kifu of Lin Steel. Never heard of him. Tia Union dismissed them and walked straight toward me. Her face was full of a cold smirk. My muscles tightened in fear. Chairwoman Tia, it was this little brat who bullied us, ruining the wedding and causing you to not even have a seat. Zhou Wei, acting like a lackey, tried to stir up more trouble. Tia Union glanced at me from head to toe, then turned to look at Zhang Shang and Suzweru. You managed to get these two girls wrapped around your finger, huh? Zhou Wei exhaled, muttering under his breath. Could it be that Chairwoman Tia is involved with him too? Tia Yunyan's aura of a powerful woman immediately filled the room. Even Zhang Shang became more obedient, whispering into her ear, No! It's mainly because he knows my idol, Zibu. That's why That moment, Tia Yunyan's eyes suddenly shifted. She grabbed my collar, and with a breath as warm as orchids whispered in my ear, If you dare lie to me, you'll be finished for good. My mom, who had lived her whole life in the countryside, was terrified, trembling at the sight. Who is this young lady? Tia Union let go of my collar, fixed her clothes, and suddenly transformed from a fierce businesswoman into a friendly girl next door. Hello, Auntie. I'm Xiaofan's girlfriend. My mom's pupils widened in shock. Oh, I didn't realize my son was so popular. I forced a smile that looked more painful than crying. It's just to give you more choices, Mom. So you can pick. Tia Union then turned her gaze, looking at Zhou Wei and Lin Yutong, whose faces were now ashen. So what was it you said about my boyfriend earlier? You little brat. With a loud asterisk thud asterisk, both Zhou Wei and Lin Yutong dropped to their knees. Tia Union pulled out her phone and made a call. Check if there's any collaboration between a company called Lin Steel and us. Cancel it. She lit a cigarette, took a drag, and exhaled. The weather's cooling down. Looks like it's time for Lin Steel to go bankrupt. The onlookers, who had never seen anything like this, all pulled out their phones to start recording. Yi Xiaofan is amazing. Even if I had just one of those 3 girlfriends, my life would be complete. Master Yi, are you starting classes? I want to learn from your mother. Only I knew this moment of glory wouldn't last long. Soon enough, I'd be facing chaos. Son, my mom began cautiously. I have to say, this is not right. She hesitated for a long time before advising me. I can see these girls are all good kids. You need to be devoted to one person. Having 3 girlfriends at once, that's too much. Yi Xiaofan. Before she could finish, 3 angry shouts rang out from outside the door. I turned to see Liu Ryan, the playgirl, storming in with 2 other goddesses, charging toward me furiously. But halfway, Zhou Wei intercepted them. His face, which had looked mournful like he'd just lost his mother, suddenly lit up when he saw Liu Ryan. I knew that look all too well. It was the same one I had when I used to be a flattery dog. Goddess, why are you here? He dashed toward her. Did you hear about my wedding? Are you here too? Steal me away? I'll leave. I'll go with you. Who are you? Liu Ryan frowned. The worshipful light on Zhou Wei's face dimmed slightly. I'm Zi Weiwei. Don't you remember me? Liu Ryan pulled out her phone, scrolling through several pages. Oh, now I remember. Flattery dog number 48. Anything you need? She had so many flattery dogs. She couldn't keep track of them all. I didn't expect Zhou Wei to be one of them. Zhou Wei watched as Liu Ryan ran over to stand next to me, mumbling to himself in a daze. Even the goddess is yours? Then what am I? The flattery dog? Lin Yutong's eyes filled with tears. She yanked off her wedding veil, throwing it on the ground. Zhou Wei, so you were in love with someone else all along? Then why did you bother marrying me? Forget it. This wedding is off. Zhou Wei, feeling the mocking gazes from everyone around him, burst out in anger. Fine. If you don't want to get married, then don't. You're going bankrupt anyway. Did you think I cared? Tia Union chimed in at just the right moment. Dog man, your family will go bankrupt too. Lin Yutong, tears streaming down her face, pushed through the women surrounding me and threw herself in front of me. Xiaofan, I'm sorry. I was wrong before. Could you please speak to Chairwoman Tia and ask her to spare my family? I can even be your girlfriend. I don't mind. Remembering the disdainful look she had when she mocked me earlier, I felt nauseated. Are you serious? Lin Yutong quickly raised her head, glancing at everyone around me, her lips trembling. She was overwhelmed with shame, unable to utter another word. Forget it. Let her family off the hook, I finally said. After all, she was the girl I had a crush on in my youth. Now seeing her fall from grace, broken and shattered, I still couldn't help but feel a bit of pity. Lin Yutong forced a painful smile, and her tears began to fall again. I'm sorry. Truly sorry. At this moment, her apology seemed genuine, coming from the heart. She lifted her dirty wedding gown and with a broken spirit, walked toward the exit. But she paused. turned back as if she wanted to say something. But in the end, the words never came out. She left, head low, in silence. Hey, what are you standing around for? Liu Ryan looked confused, still not understanding what had just happened. Impatiently, she shouted, I heard you know Zibu. Hurry up and take me to see him. I might even spare your worthless life. 6 pairs of eyes suddenly locked onto me. My legs trembled. I had no idea what to say. Liu Ryan, aren't you his girlfriend? Zhou Wei suddenly spoke up, his eyes darting between me and Liu Ryan, as if he had just realized something. Ha ha ha! You've all come here seeking revenge on this Zibu, but you've all been tricked. My heart skipped a beat. I wanted to rush over and shut him up, but I was too late. He is Zibu! In that moment, the entire banquet hall fell silent. 6 pairs of eyes fixed on me, filled with confusion, shock, and disbelief. I'm not lying. He worked part-time in high school, at that restaurant near Long Lake. He's been using this name the whole time. Zhou Wei kept shouting. Is Suzwaru's big eyes suddenly welled up with tears. Are you really Zibu from back then? That's right. 12 years ago, it was Brother Zibu who saved me from that lake. I finally remembered them. It was the summer of our senior year in high school. On my way to work, I saw a car fall into the lake. Without thinking much, I jumped in to save them. A car full of girls. Didn't count how many, but I guess there were indeed 6 of them. I even gave each of them CPR. Almost suffocated myself in the process. After saving them, I left right away. I was late for work. The next day, my boss told me 6 girls had come to the shop, asking for my name, and even requested my WeChat. I got so scared, thinking they were going to accuse me of something. I quickly told the boss to pretend I didn't exist, quit my job, and fled. Who would have thought they'd remember such a small incident for 12 years? Brother Zibu. So you've been protecting me all this time? Suzwaru cried like rain. I'm sorry. I can't believe I didn't recognize you all this time. Zhongshang held her chest. Brother Zibu. Is this a dream? Liu Ryan, her hands trembling, reached out gently toward my face, but was immediately slapped away by Tia Union. Didn't you say you weren't? Brother Zibu's girlfriend just now? Don't touch him. Liu Ryan was also crying uncontrollably, turning to my mom. Mom, what do you think? Can I marry Brother Zibu right here and now? Get lost. Mom, Brother Zibu is mine. He even plays the piano for me. Mom, listen to me. They're nothing. Brother Zibu is willing to die with me. You get lost. My mom was suddenly overwhelmed by the chaos of 6 crying women. Zhou Wei, still on the ground, hadn't closed his mouth since the beginning. Brother Zibu, who do you love the most? Isn't it obvious? It's definitely me. You're full of it. It's clearly me. Just as it seemed they were about to start fighting, I shouted, Everyone, shut up. One by one, they immediately stood in line, quietly waiting. They all stared at me expectantly. Who do I love the most? I grabbed a hand, holding it in my palm. The one I love most, of course, is my mom. It was honestly quite miraculous. Before knowing the truth, I thought with their fiery tempers, once they found out I was the one ignoring them online, they'd tear me apart. But instead, they all turned out to be pure-hearted love warriors. How impressive, to be honest. It was kind of satisfying. Mom, you decide. Which one do you like the most? As I said this, I glanced over at my aunt. When she saw me looking at her, she quickly lowered her head in shame. I know. Looking at these girls, none of them seemed like someone you could match with. My mom was flustered, holding each of their hands one by one. Oh dear. I wonder if it's your dad from the other side who's been blessing us. You girls really like my pile of smelly manure? Even though my mom scolded me, I felt oddly happy inside. You're all good girls. Don't let him fool you with his sweet talk. Mom, that's not true. Brother Zebu is a really kind person. Even in the middle of the night, if I say I'm hungry, he'll bring me food. Exactly. Mom, I've decided Brother Zebu is the one for me in this life. Me too, my mom sighed deeply, giving me a scolding look. Sigh, seeing that my little Xiaofan has someone who likes him. I'm happy. But ... Her words suddenly stopped, and her body tilted backward. I quickly caught her. Seeing her clutching her chest, I knew her heart condition was acting up again. Get car, take her to the hospital. The girls all panicked, some helping her, others rushing to drive. A convoy of luxury cars sped through the streets, getting my mom to the hospital in record time. Tia Union had already made the call ahead. And as soon as we arrived, the doctors whisked my mom into the surgery room. I waited outside, tears streaming down my face uncontrollably. Fortunately, after several hours, my mom came out safe and sound. In the days that followed, each of the 6 girls took turns visiting, one per day, to care for my mom. On Sundays, they would all gather together, making my mom laugh. In private, my mom would secretly ask me, "Which one do you really like? What's your plan?" I knew I couldn't drag this out any longer, so I found a time and invited them all to meet together. First, I have to apologize to you all. This name, Zebu, I never heard you mention it, so I was completely in the dark. It's okay. 6 pairs of sparkling eyes stared at me, filled with affection and gentleness. A broke guy with 6 beautiful women. Even the people in the restaurant couldn't help but glance our way. Secondly, about me being your flattery dog. I was mainly doing it to earn money for my mom's medical bills. I'm truly sorry for that too, but I swear, once I find a job, I'll pay you all back. Everything I said was the truth. It's fine, really. We used you as a punching bag back then. And it was mutual consent. You don't owe us any apologies. Zuzwaru blinked her eyes. And lastly, there's something else I want to say. It's a bit embarrassing. It's about who I like. They all straightened up immediately. I stayed silent for a long time, but in the end, I decided to tell the truth. I don't like any of you. In that moment, their tears started falling. I vaguely heard someone at the next table mutter, "What a scumbag!" I don't want to lie to you. Back then, saving you all, any normal person would have done it. You don't need to keep remembering it. As for being your flattery dog, it was just a job. There was a moment of silence. Zhangshang bit her lip. Then, can I hire you to be my flattery dog again? I can too. Aren't you looking for a job? Be my secretary. I'll pay you 500,000 a month. Is that okay? Tia Union quickly chimed in. I'll offer 1 million. I've already broken up with all of my dozens of boyfriends. Liu Ryan wiped her tears. Forget it. I said, my dad used to tell me, you have to live with your feet on the ground. I thought about it. Being a flattery dog had taught me a lot of things, and I decided to get a teaching certificate. I wanted to be a teacher in my village, just like my dad. After he passed away, no one was willing to come teach in the village. It felt like the job I'd actually enjoy. I stood up, bowed to them. Sorry. I wish you all find someone you truly like. And I left. After that, they didn't message me anymore. Once my mom recovered, I went to the city alone to take the teacher certification exam. I bought some fruit and health supplements and went back home to celebrate my mom's birthday. But when I arrived at the door, I was shocked. The 6 women were sweeping the floor, wiping tables, massaging my mom's shoulders and legs. The place was bustling with energy. You all, why are you at my house? I stood there with my mouth hanging open, completely bewildered. What do you mean, your house? This is my house. Suzweru flashed a sweet smile at my mom. Right, godmother? Yes, we all made Andy our godmother. You don't have a say in this. Liu Ryan took off her apron, giving me a sharp look. I stammered. But what are you all doing in the countryside? If you can be a teacher, why can't I, a Harvard graduate? Zhangshang rolled her eyes. I could build 100. Hope schools right now. Tia Union put down her phone. I was dumbfounded. What on earth is going on?